Our 7-acre farm is located on the Cassowary coast, in the wet tropics of far north Queensland, Australia, where the rainforest meets the reef. We grow commercial crops of tropical fruit, jackfruit and canistel, and also use our spare land to fulfill our dream of becoming more self-sufficient. We feel incredibly lucky to be living in this beautiful part of the world, and in our weekly videos we share with you our slice of paradise and our life on the farm. Hey everyone, it is Monday the 13th, so the start of a new week. I still have a couple of days off from work. I don't go back till Wednesday, so we have a couple of really busy days ahead on the farm because, as you can see at the moment, we have glorious blue skies and sunshine. It is incredibly hot, even early in the morning, but nevertheless we have got rain coming in. Rain forecast for Wednesday, getting heavier on Thursday and Friday, and then receding again. So the plan is that this morning I am going to start and plant out some of our jackfruit seedlings in anticipation of the upcoming rain. Ian's gone into town to pick up some more boxes for the Canistel harvest, which will be starting around April, May time. And then when he comes back, we need to run some more wires through the fence line, because this morning when I woke up, came out onto the back veranda to water the seedlings and check the canistel cuttings, and something had knocked over the lid off one of my humidicribs with the canistel cuttings and had trampled all the way through, disrupted all of the cuttings. They were all lying everywhere, the soil was all disturbed, the lid was off, and so they'd been subject to cooler conditions overnight and obviously less humidity, so I'm not sure how they're going to go. It did allow me to inspect the cuttings though, and they have started to callus. And then after the callousing you usually get the roots, so that is a good thing that they were starting to form callousing. But the bad thing is that they've now got disrupted and subject to not ideal conditions. So I've repotted them up and I'm just hoping that they do recover. But because of that, we're trying to work out what it would have been that actually did that. And the only thing we can think that would have been able to do that is probably paddy melons, wallabies, because I can't see that anything was able to climb up that table and be strong enough to lift off the lid. It's insane. So we have seen paddy melons out the back here that are coming through the gaps in the electric fence. So obviously the electric fence is not bothering these critters, and they're managing to either come underneath or jump through. Paddy melons are quite small, so the plan is that we're going to use some of the trellising wire that we've been taking out of the trellising to fill in some of the gaps on the fence line. So that's the plan when Ian gets back, because that area is still quite shaded, so it will not be too bad to run the wire through there. It's quite hot in the paddock, so I really need to go and get planting. The other thing that we want to do, and it probably won't be anytime soon because we've got too much other stuff going on, but I'm really excited to get the garden beds going this year and hopefully grow more produce. And I've been looking into more tropical varieties and things that will tolerate heat and humidity a lot better. In the past I've just got any old, cucumber, tomato seeds, and I really should have been looking at the different varieties that are available now, and even different kinds of vegetables that are more suited that we could use as substitutes. So for example, the angled loofah, which I would never have thought of growing before, but now I'm quite excited to, is apparently a really good substitute for zucchini. And I have tried zucchini and failed numerous times. So I'm really keen to have a go at the angled loofah and see how that goes. I've got some wing beans going, which I have grown before, and they are delicious. They're also called the asparagus pea because they taste like asparagus. but they grow really well in the tropics as opposed to things like your snow peas and some varieties of green bean. So yeah, I've really been looking at what varieties will grow better where we are. So the plan is to make some more garden beds. Ian is ecstatic about that idea. We've still got lots of leftover roofing tin, second-hand roofing tin, and posts for making more trellising, which clearly now we're not going to do. So we may as well utilise that tin and the posts to make more garden beds. And then we're just going to do like a hugel style, where we'll build the garden beds, and then any palm trees that we take down and like the durian trunks that we took down last week, we'll fill the garden beds with those trunks initially, and then top that off with soil, potting mix, compost, mulch, and then plant the seedlings. And that hopefully will give us some really good organic matter as we move forward. But as you can see here, problem we've got where our existing garden beds are is that they are shaded by the morning sun because of this ridiculously long, tall, thick bamboo. So we have 2 huge clumps of bamboo, and there's the morning sun, you can see. And so that bamboo is completely shading all of these garden beds. Now, when we put these in, we really didn't think about the positioning. We wanted the garden beds to be in an area that we had spare, away from the commercial orchard. We wanted them to be close to the house for easy picking and close to water source so that we could run irrigation. But we really didn't think about the positioning in terms of sunlight, which we probably should. It was stupid, really. Things like tomatoes, chilies, capsicums, they need a lot of sunlight. 6 to 8 hours of sunlight, and ideally we want them to get morning sun because the afternoon sun here can be really harsh. So morning sun is best. So these garden beds are not really ideally positioned. They'd probably be great for growing things like carrots and beetroots. The pumpkins seem to do really happily here. There's the back of the house, the shed's up there, the nurseries you can see just through there, and the fence line is over towards the back that meets the neighbour's driveway. We've got this huge area that we don't really use. All we do is mow it. It used to be an absolute mess. It was full of weed trees and vine, and we've spent a long time trying to clear it up, and now it looks really good, but we don't really do much with it apart from mow it, which is a huge waste of space, really. So you can see up there. So the plan is to turn this area into a food forest, coming all the way down to where this bamboo is, over to our existing garden beds at the side of the house. That will give us some garden beds that will be shaded, some that will be in the sun, so we can rotate our crops around accordingly. As you can see, this area here is getting some beautiful morning sun. And these palms are going to have to go anyway because they are shading out the solar panels which are on the roof there. So the intention was always to get rid of this palm and that palm because of the solar panels. But by getting rid of those, we'll allow more sunlight into this area, and we'll be able to build garden beds around them to grow some produce. Now, we could use the portion of this land to plant up more jackfruits, and we did think about that, but we really want to be able to grow more of our own crops, and so vegetables, herbs and fruit trees. So the plan is that we will utilize this space for the nursery, water tanks, trees, vegetable beds, and then everything from the front of the house will be commercial orchard. So that's the plan. I'm really excited. So when we have some free time, we will get started on that plan. For now, I've still got my existing garden bed, so I'll work with what I've got. But moving forward, hopefully that will be a really good way of becoming more self-sufficient with our vegetables and herbs, which I'm really excited about because it's so good to get in the garden and grow your own produce and just have it right there to pick and make delicious meals from. You know, it's a well-known fact that most of what we buy at the supermarket has lost a lot of its nutrition by the time it gets to our plate. So it's really good to be able to pick from your own garden when the nutritional value of what you're picking is a lot better. So anyway, that's enough from me for now. I am off to plant some of these jackfruits. Wow, it is stinking hot already. And it's only 9 o'clock. So I've almost finished one side of this run, and then I'll move over now to do the other side. Some of these trees have already been successfully grafted, so it's just a matter of filling in the gaps. But oh man, is it hot, and there's no protection out there at the moment. The seedlings that I'm planting, we did sun harden. So I'm hoping that they'll be okay before the rain comes in on Wednesday in a couple of days. I've given them a good watering. We'll put protectors around them. And you might have seen that we have taken to wearing board shorts. It's not really farming attire, is it? But it's so hot that to wear boardies is just so much cooler, and they wash really easily. They dry in like seconds. So Ian will wear, unless we're doing something really hard and physical, Ian will wear board shorts and a long sleeved shirt and hat, because we do still want to try and protect ourselves from the sun if we can. So long sleeved shirt and board shorts, and I will wear long sleeved shirt, hat and boardies. So underneath my farming gear, I wear a bikini. Why not? So it means that when we finish doing what we're doing down in the paddock and we are just stinking hot, it's just so easy to just go and jump in that pool and cool off without having to try and pry off your clothes. Because believe me, when you are hot and sticky and sweaty, trying to get out of farm gear is a task in itself. So that is our new farm wear. So here comes Ian with the boxies. Stumpy! Don't you want to get in the car?
You have to have a ride in the car.
Sun is shining bright and it's going my way. Birds in the sky and I'm singing it loud. Love is all around and I'm floating away with you. And I'm floating away with you. Throw my hands up, it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining bright and it's going my way. Birds in the sky and I'm singing it loud. Love is all around and I'm floating away. Love is all around and I'm floating away with you. Throw my hands up, it's a beautiful day. The sun is shining bright and it's going my way. Birds in the sky and I'm singing it loud. Love is all around and I'm floating away. Love is all around and I'm floating away with you.
Okay, so we've run more wires through the fence line, so hopefully that stops any paddy melons and wallabies from getting through and destroying our crops. And while we were down here, Ian noticed the abu tree is still absolutely loaded.
And they're all big.
It's just that we can't really get to those ones.
Well, we could do, bring some.
But we did get to
and
this
stuff.
one.
But and it was a pretty impressive tree. That one's going to be easily sort of 500 grams again,
Yeah.
if not more.
And I can see some more. If the fence, we've turned the fence back on now, but if the fence was turned off, we probably could go in and get some of these lower hanging fruit.
Yeah.
But yeah, these ones that are up there, birds will probably be able to feast on them.
Well, the cassowary comes in sometimes and steals.
Yeah, the cassowaries do come in and get them. All right.
I'm tired.
I'm tired too.
I need a beer.
I'm thirsty.
That's all ever. It's all you ever say. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty. Go get this foliar spray, and hopefully then we're done for the day. So, open the valves. Hopefully you can see it. Blast all of the foliage. So now it's just a matter of rinse everything down, put some fresh water in there. Doesn't need a lot of water, it's just a matter of getting a bit of fresh water in so that I can flush out these nozzles. Maybe give the bonnet a bit of a rinse off. Okay, so after that run round, we're up to 10 hours of running, and it's recommended that check the wheel nuts with it being new until they've bedded in, just in case it worked loose. So I did check it at 2 hours, and there was nothing at all there. But better to be safe than sorry. Are you helping, dude? Are you? Yes. So sit back and wait for the rain. Come on, mate. Good boy.